For most of you, this is how it works. Parents, families, and friends, welcome to the Educational Advisory Board. I'm Dr. Bill Tallmer. I'll be the chair of this evening's facilities. And we have a great group of young people over there with lots of energy, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was pretty weak, guys. Just letting you know, I gave you an opening. It's, we had a great group with lots of energy over there, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want to hear. This is what I want to hear. Okay, sugar them up, Jackie. Go ahead. Okay, we're going to stand up, pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Jackie, you want to do roll call, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Dr. Bill Tallmer.
Present.
Vice Chair Crystal Clark.
Present.
Stephen Brown.
Present.
Julie Highsmith.
Present.
Dwayne St. Hill.
Present.
Pam Chetka.
Present.
Christy Jean.
Present.
And Councilman Jeff Amara.
Here.
Thank you, Jacqueline, and welcome everyone. We're going to start with H.L. Johnson, principal, and Jennifer Makowski. So, Jennifer, if you would, please, your wonderful PowerPoint and this wonderful group, we're looking forward to it.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I would like to present to you our Pentatonic Pride, led by our chorus teacher, Mrs. Pawali, and they do have a couple of songs that they're going to sing for you.
By themselves. I think you'll enjoy it.
Not
hope you really enjoy. It's actually involves singing and sign language, something we've been working on. It's been really, really a really special treat. It's called One Small Voice.
Thank you very much, Pentatonic Pride and Mrs. Powali and all of my parents and guardians that came out to support us tonight. We appreciate it. So thank you again very much.
Well done. Well done.
While they're all exiting, I brought with me a couple other special people from school, so I'd like to introduce them as well.
Please.
I have my assistant principal, Mrs. Wolf, if she'll stand up back there. My ESE contact, Mrs. Agadello. And my SAI teacher, Mrs. Connor. Okay, so a little bit about us. Currently, our enrollment, we're at 766. You want me to wait a minute? Oh, wait a minute.
You want to wait?
Yeah.
Yeah, you brought the big party. This is what happens. This is a good thing, though.
A very good thing, yeah.
Yes,
They
I've
were
been
so
places where
excited to
nobody
come
shows
tonight.
up, so I'm very, very proud of the nice support that you have.
Yes.
And I love the song, I Won't Grow Up. I think Councilman Hamir and I have been singing that since we got on the voice. This is
Yeah.
kind of how we do it. It's not ready to grow up.
Right? I wish that I could be back 10 years old again.
There's days. There's days.
Yeah, definitely. So currently, right now, our enrollment is at 766. We're a little bit over 48% free and reduced lunch. We do have one VPK classroom. We also offer gifted. Our gifted numbers are going down a little now that all the other schools in our area are starting to open up other gifted sites as well. We are a cluster site for EBD, which is our emotional behavior students, and for IND, which is our intellectually disabled students. We have about 54 instructional, 22 paraprofessionals. We have one BIA, which is our behavior interventionist, 2 speech and language pathologists, and then our SAI teacher, which is our reading intervention teacher. Currently, we are a choice program for STEAM. I'll talk about that in a minute, but as of right now, we have 63 students that are at our school for our choice program that were not already our students. They were not zoned for us. This The application just closed in January, and so for us next year, we have 104 applications, and of those, 53 have selected us as their first choice. So our numbers in our choice program are really growing. Our COE, which is our controlled open enrollment, currently right now we have 42 students that are at us that again are not zoned for our school that are with us for controlled open enrollment. We are an A-rated school. Woohoo! We're very excited. As I'm stealing Tracy's, woohoo! Very excited.
Hey, let's. There's only one at a time. Like you two together, it's hard for me.
Sorry. I'll try to come up with something other than the woohoo for you. Looking at our data, we did make a slight drop in our reading, but we showed gains in our reading lowest 25%. We moved up 20 points. Our math, we showed gains across the board, and our proficiency up by 8, our gains up by 23, and our lowest 25% up by 33. We did drop a couple of points, but that's what, in science, but that's what led us to the A. Some of the strategies that we've implemented are writing across the content. I'm a big believer in writing. If kids can write it, they understand it. And so we've implemented what's called top score writing, and it's causing us to have a common language for writing across the grade levels. It starts in 2nd grade and works its way up through 5th grade. We are starting our tutorials actually tomorrow. We do have our AMP, which is our accelerated math, in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And we utilize Lively Letters, which is our reading intervention. We use it for kindergarten and 1st grade for the students for phonics, and then we use it in 2nd grade for those students that are still having difficulty with their phonics. We've implemented, we were one of the pilot programs for the content knowledge, which is more nonfiction in reading. And so we started it this year with kindergarten and are looking at expanding it in the following years to 1st grade. We also utilize within our choice program, our STEAM, we do what's called the Fair Game benchmarks, and those are our science benchmarks from 3rd and 4th grade that we take, that they're tested on the 5th grade science test. So we take those and we go back over those science benchmarks within our STEAM, which is part of our fine arts wheel. And so those kids are having reinforcement on those standards that they had back in 3rd and 4th grade that are now in 5th grade. We've also partnered up with Rural Palm Beach High School for their Latinos in Action. And those students come to our school and they mentor some of my struggling readers and they work with them on reading skills. We're increasing our nonfiction text, which is the big part of the FSA assessment. And so we've been working with our PTO on increasing the number of books that we have in our classrooms. They're not all just, fiction books that the kids, the fairy tales, the poem, those kind of things. It's more nonfiction, which the kids are really enjoying.
So, Ms. Mikowski, that structural change from the fictional to the nonfiction across your knowledge content, tell me, how does that affect the students in their reading? Is it move them quicker to kind of a comprehensive competency of reading, or is that that's the whole strategy of that? Yeah,
what we've really noticed in our kindergarten with the CKLA is that the vocabulary that the students are using, it's tremendous, the things that they're saying, and that they can apply it because it's nonfiction. So it's things that they see or they hear every day. And so they're able to apply those concepts that we used fiction books for before, and they're able to understand it and grasp the concepts better.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Yes. We also have our III, which is the reading intervention time, and what we use that for is for our students that are not below reading, is we use an enrichment period. And so that's where we have STEAM bins that we're creating. Students participate in a Genius Hour. They do Socratic seminars where those students are going above and beyond, and their critical thinking skills are getting higher and higher. So we're trying to meet the needs of all of the students during that time, not just worrying about our lower reading students. Some of our enrichment clubs we have, coding and robotics. We do our student council, TV productions, our SECME, which you can see there. Our SECME last year was first place in the Mousetrap car, so we're very excited about that. We're starting this year with the Science Olympiad in chess. Some other activities that we do spelling bee from 1st through 5th grade. We also do math competitions, which are kindergarten through 5th grade. Our science fair, everybody participates in the science fair. If it's our little ones, it's a class project. We had the weather school come out, WPTV, and did a weather school with our 5th grade students. And then we do STEAM days where everyone on campus stops and they do STEAM. And they take a project from the beginning until the very end, and it takes all day long, but it's a critical thinking process that they do that's actually coming up here soon.
So let me ask you about critical thinking.
Sure.
Can it be learned? Is it taught in the curriculum? Is it a separate part of the curriculum, or is it infused within the curriculum?
It's infused within the curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have to. If you can't just kind of think of it outside, it's got to be something that's infused, and it's the way that the teachers ask questions and facilitate the students' learning, where they're trying to learn on their own and trying to grasp those concepts and take them further.
So how do you separate growth in cognitive skills and creative thinking as opposed to the critical thinking as opposed to just the content knowledge?
It's how they're taking that content knowledge that they're learning, that basics, that foundation, and then they're taking it even further. Like example with the Socratic seminars, the students will be given a topic and they have to do research and come up with exactly what their stance is on the topic, and then they go back and forth and they debate that topic. And so we have 5th graders that are debating crises that are going on in the world, and they're taking that and they're researching it to come up with their stance and then how they're going to defend that. And so that's taking their just basic knowledge and it's taking it that one step further.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm, sure. Some of our school awards and recognition, we are a Cambridge primary school. We've earned the Golden School Award. We're a 5-star school, and we are a Green School of Excellence. PTO, we have a huge, wonderful PTO, and a lot of their fundraising that they do, shout out to Julie over there. A lot of their fundraising they do goes towards things that we are not able to purchase on our own. Crisis bags, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, the nonfiction text that I mentioned, the STEAM bigs we're working on, big books they've purchased for 1st grade, Resource, the top score vocabulary books that we've purchased for Sadler, and then my mural, which I was very excited about, my tree there, so I had to put the little picture in there. And along with our PTO, of course, is all of our business partners. And PTO really does a great job going out and trying to find our business partners that can support all of the events that we do at school. And so we've just got a really wonderful group that do whatever they can for us. Some community events, the Dads Take Your Child to School Day, Grandparents Night, the Walk Your Child to School, our Valentine's Dance, the South Florida Fair Run the students participated in, and then the Literacy Night that we just had during Literacy Week. And then we also do STEAM Nights where we partner with the South Florida,
Science Museum.
Thank you. I always want to call them the South Florida Fair, the Science Museum. We partner with them and they come out and do STEAM Nights. Some other events, we do our green days, the beautification that we do in the courtyards, our campus cleanups, pajama drives. We had our huge fall festival this year, and our food for families, which we won 1st place, so we're very excited about that too. STEAM, I had mentioned earlier, is part of our choice program. It's on our Fine Arts Wheel. Within our STEAM, the students participate in hands-on activities. We do have the 3 Z-Space computers and 2 3D printers, and there is an iPad lab in there that the students utilize. Some student incentives. This summer, for the summer reading log, all of the students turned it in. We had an ice cream party. One of our business partners donated the ice cream to us, and we had a big dance party in there, and they loved that. We pulled all of our students for iReady gains. Each student in their grade level that had the highest gain in whether it's reading or math for iReady, we pulled those students in. We do a character ed Noble Jaguar every month where the students that have that specific trait, show that specific trait for the month, get to eat on the stage in the cafeteria. And this year we were selected as one of the schools that could participate in the Miami Dolphins Player of the Week. And so we had one student based on their character traits that could go to the Miami Dolphins game. And they actually got to have activities on the field. They got a T-shirt and everything. So that was really exciting for all the home games.
Were they good enough to play for the Dolphins? We need a little help. I'm just let you know that.
I don't know. I've got a couple that went. One mom out here that.
Any help you can give would be really appreciated.
Some different security enhancements. This year we did, I'm sure you guys have probably all heard about our traffic pattern. We did change the traffic pattern this year. Now they actually, all of my parents, they're not in here, I don't think, they all do love it right now. We moved the students, instead of being outside, they are in the cafeteria for dismissal and arrival. So now they're in a safe place for our traffic at the end of the day.
And you're to be commended. That was quite the buzz, and it's never easy, and change is never easy. So the fact that you're still here and happy and still love everybody. So.
Yeah, thank you. Nobody came and got me.
This is it.
Yeah, and I would have to say that my instructional soup was a great support, Miss Vivian.
This is why good teams are, so
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Our school officer is Officer Tony, which is down at the bottom there. We had approximately 27 of our staff members participated in the Stop the Bleed training, which was a training where they learned how to use the tourniquets in case there is a crisis. We are currently developing, they should be out to all the teachers on Monday, crisis bags. And so every staff member on campus and every crisis member has a different crisis response bag. And depending on their role in the crisis response team, are different materials that are inside the bag, whether it's tourniquets or blood clotting, the gauze, any of that stuff. So we've implemented those. They are going to be hung on everybody's door on the inside of the door so that it's an easy grab and go if ever, God forbid, needed. Also, by the end of the school year, we are receiving additional security cameras, card readers, and we are going to have a perimeter fence, so that's going to be new. It's going to go completely around the bus loop and around the front of the campus. So we're very excited about that fence. And then they're installing us brand new gates to keep anyone from being able to just, hop over. So that's it. Anybody have any questions?
Board, anybody? Stephen, no, you're good? Everybody good? I have a personal, of course, because this is my initiative, the watchdogs. Have you had any traction with some of that? I know Omar met it. How's that working?
Yeah, we actually, because we have such a huge PTO and we have so many dads that are currently on our PTO right now, we just didn't want to split them.
Yeah, sure.
And so we're trying to encourage more dads to join PTO, but we have got such a huge group now, so it's really great.
That's fine. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. That's not always the truth.
Yeah,
so.
we're very lucky. So.
Yeah, the watchdogs got started because I always, the PTO loves to tell men, I always get told what to do. That's why I always know where to be. PTO always tells you where to go. It's smart.
Yeah,
it's a good model. Listen, you're to be commended. What a wonderful, wonderful thing you got going on between your staff and for your students, and a great group, And then, I can't say this enough again. I've been to, 8, 10 systems now, and this is the only system I've ever been in with all A-rated schools. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you are to be congratulated as part of the group that's here, and you're to be congratulated because your job's not easy, and we certainly appreciate all that you give to us. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Whew, now she can sit down. Yeah, that's good. Hang on. That's done. Guy would stop asking me questions. I could sit down. I get that. This is how it works. I'm just interested. It's very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's do some reports. Dr. Rodriguez, you can go first, or Mr. Andrews, either one. It's all good.
Welcome. Good evening to everyone.
Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome back.
Happy New Year. And H.L. Johnson, you're awesome. Your students were outstanding. Let's give them a big hand. And it truly is all about the schools, everyone in the school, starting with the principal, knowing the students and the teachers are right there behind, but it takes the whole village in the school. So what we saw here tonight is an example of everybody working together to make it happen for our students. One more round of applause. Tonight, board, I'd like to kind of share with you some information, and I think I did send you 2 flyers, and I've tried to pass out some extra ones to the audience today. It's a sad week for us here in the Palm Beach County School District, and we've been dealing with some sadness since last year, February the 14th. As you can recall, we lost 17 students and staff at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School from gun violence. And we, as a school district, as well as the state of Florida, the Governor's Safety Council, the legislature, we've been working so hard to improve safety at our schools. And I want to say that with the state of Florida, the governor and the legislature, they put their money where their mouth would be to put more monies in our schools for safety. And as I sit here and I look at you and the people in the audience, the stakeholders, you did not mess around. You helped us with the penny sales tax. That's actually beefing up our schools to make them more tight and more secure for our students. And you did it with the referendum. That money that you've given us for the referendum is helping us to be ahead of the state of Florida in many ways and keeping our schools safe. So the two flyers I have here tonight, one talks about the protecting of students and staff in the Palm Beach County School District. And we are Palm Beach County School District is one of a few school districts that have their own school police force. And we've been ahead of the game since 1972 with a police force. And we have a $30 million budget annually helping us with that police force. The monies from the sales tax and the referendum has put us at another level of staffing for safety for our schools. As you know, that we now have a police officer on every campus. That's a big deal. You hear a lot of talk about the Guardian program in some of the smaller districts and across the state of Florida, but we are ahead here in Palm Beach County because of you, our stakeholders, our parents, our communities, our elected officials, our boards and organizations, the village. You came together to give us the additional funding so that we did not have to do it piecemeal. We do have a certified officer and sometimes more, 2 or more in each one of our schools. So the flyer that I've given you today, I don't need to read over it all, but we are looking to make sure every school has a single point of entry. That's important. As you heard H.L. Johnson talking about the safety measures at the school, every school has a plan. We have actually had our police officers go into each one of the schools to do a safety review, to look at the areas in which we can improve on safety at each school. We feel our schools are very, very safe. I think about Mr. Armis over a year ago, way before the tragedy at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and I saw him doing safety initiatives at Royal Palm Beach High School. And I said to myself, wonder why is he closing the main gates out there coming from Okeechobee Road? And he had the foresight to see early that we needed to have a single point of entry at our high school here in the village before all of the other schools started, before the tragedy. And I want to commend him for being an out-of-the-box thinker and looking at the safety issues way before the tragedy. But the tragedy has helped us to kind of see the little pieces that we have to do better with, and we are doing it. We have police aides. You'll go to the schools now, you see a police officer, you'll see police aides at the school. These people are certified, they're trained, they go through the process of being able to meet the needs of the school, and they're vetted very well before they step foot on the campus. And crisis response teams. When you pass that referendum, a lot has to do with mental health. And I know we hear you say, oh my goodness, we have to have a police officer, yes, but a lot has to do with mental health. The people need to be on the school grounds that can do mental health. We now are getting mental health professionals on each campus, and we already have started. And with the funding from the referendum, you're going to be seeing a lot more of that at each school. K-9s, we've always had the K-9s on our schools, and school police cars are being upgraded, so many things. Highly skilled police officers. And you know, when you think about school security, the district has budgeted $10 million this year, above what we normally do to make sure we have what we need. I think it's important to take the time tonight to talk about it, to give you this flyer, because people will be talking. They have been talking since last February the 14th because it was a big tragedy, and it's very, very sad, and we don't want to lose anybody. But we've got to learn from what has happened to us so that we can do better. So as you can see, you know, we're working closely with the Sheriff's Office. He's a partner with us. We're working closely with all of the municipalities all across Palm Beach County. Some school districts don't have the partnership and the relationships that we have with municipalities, but we do. I look at Jupiter. In Jupiter, most of the officers are from the Jupiter Police Department. We are actually patrolled by the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They do work with our school police. So this is why we have every one of our schools staffed with a certified officer, whether it's a school police officer, whether it's a sheriff's officer, whether it's someone from a city or village police department, we are there. And what is so good about having this relationship with all of the different agencies is that we are now working as a team for all of the children, for all of the schools, and for all of the communities. I know you've heard about the app that we have now. If you see something, say something. All of the pieces that we put together. Have to look at social media. That's a big deal. Sometimes you don't hear it. You see it on social media. You find somebody that wants to do something. You can find out all about it on social media. So we're looking at behavioral health, people, mental health, just really, really working together as a team. And if you look on the sheet that I've given you, you can always go to the Palm Beach County School District website and get everything that I'm talking about tonight at www.palmbeachschools.org/school-police. And it tells you about all of the initiatives that we put in place for helping to keep our schools safe. And for the past few days, we've been doing 17 acts of kindness. And you have the sheet here. We're in the middle of it, doing great things. We love Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. We are very sad about the loss, but we have to show something and do something. So we're doing 17 acts of kindness. If you follow the calendar, you'll see that we will be doing it up until Thursday, February 14th, a year from the tragedy. And at the schools, there will be many, many events, memorializing, praying, talking about the things that we have to do to work together to keep our schools safe, and loving and knowing that the parents and the families from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, they're still suffering. They're going to suffer for a long time, and we have to be there to hold their hands, and we have to hold our hands together with all of us. So review this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and also visit a school on Thursday, and maybe you can participate in some of the 17 acts of kindness. Thank you. Questions?
Anyone here? I just have one. As a Coast Guard person, we would, when you do, people go on cruises, right? And the response is really the most important piece, and it's the parents. When they come to the schools, they're walking right into the zone. So the educational piece has to kind of move out to a parent's response, right? Because what happens is that's when the chaos begins, right? So some of that is, so it'd be nice to see some of that get pushed out towards the parental side as what they should do and the things they can do, because when they start clogging up cell phones and everything starts without administrators having a lot of administrators don't even know. The kids are already tweeting, and the parents are already at the school, and it's a very chaotic situation. So it's just, I think if you find somebody in your ear that could talk about that, spreading it out to the parents about steps and kind of the pathways they need to happen without impeding what's going on from the law enforcement side, it may help.
Thank you, and I think that's a great idea as I listen to you tonight, because this is why we're talking to one another and sharing. I would love to see, and I'm going to talk to our chief of police, if we can do some parent trainings out here in the different neighborhoods for those who will want to. Maybe some parents are in the schools and they know all about it. Teachers are trained, administrators are trained, custodians, bus drivers. So we probably do need to expand our training, some evening training sessions for parents. That's a great idea, and I promise I'll take it back to the chief of police, and he's awesome, and I'm sure he's going to
If
take
it
me
creates
up on
extra work for him, don't tell him where it came from now.
No.
I want you to know, Ms. Andrews.
But if it means keeping our schools
I
and our
agree.
children safe,
Yep.
and for parents to know that it takes all of us, the parents, have a role to play in keeping our children safe, not just the school police
And that's where the
officers.
trouble, the chaos
Absolutely.
comes in. Yes.
Thank you.
Also, as you're talking to the chief, I don't know if they're, I've been visiting different schools throughout the district, and what I've found is there's not a unified use of some of the new things that have been implemented. Each building is kind of doing their own kind of thing. One school, you can't bring your purse. Another school, you can. Another school, you need a clear bag. Some schools don't have anybody checking you at all. Other schools have somebody with the wand and put your things in the bowl. And it's not unified.
Well, that's something I will certainly bring to the chief, and I think that comes with the training. That also comes with us looking at the Village of Royal Palm Beach and all of our schools and how we do it, so that we can look at what we're doing here in the village as well as what's going on throughout the county to make sure that we're on one accord. It should not be everybody doing their own thing. So I'm hearing this from you. I'll be looking at it because I'm in schools every single day, and I'll be checking on that too. And the principals are sitting here now, so we will be looking at what we do,
It's been at
especially right here.
athletic events, let me make that distinction, at athletic events, that there's some do this way, some do that way, some...
Well, with the athletic events, after what had happened to us right here in District 6 at Palm Beach Central, we've actually looked at our processes and procedures, and we have made major changes as to what happens when you go to a football game and go to a basketball game or any athletic event. So we will go back and look at that again. I will certainly work with our superintendent standing right behind me, who's in charge of all the schools, and we will sit down with the chief to make sure that we're following through. Even with graduation, there's going to be a new requirement this year with graduation. You'll hear more about it, but as you went to the South Florida Fair this year, it was a little different that you had to go through that line as if you were going to Disney World and take your things out. So you'll be seeing a whole lot more of that. But the line did go quickly when I went to the South Florida Fair. So we hope the graduation lines will go quickly too. But we've got to keep everybody safe. And what we're doing there, as well as football, basketball, and sports events, I'll make sure that we're consistent. So thank you for bringing that up to me too. I'm going to make a note of it. Any other questions?
Anybody else? Nope. Everybody good? Thank you, Ms. Andrews, as always. Your passion is so appreciated. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Rodriguez.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here and having our team here. It's been a little while since we gathered, right? Since before the holiday break. I want to just introduce Ms. Green, our instructional superintendent with elementary, Mr. Tierney, who's our secondary instructional superintendent, and Ms. Lakeisha Nathan, who is our instructional team leader from Central Region. They're joining me here today. They're all wearing gray. I'm wearing gray, and I like that because these days it seems to match my hair. So I too don't want to grow up. So I hear that at home. So I want to share a little bit about what has been going on in the village here with some of our schools, as well as some of the things that are currently taking place in our schools that are engaging in. So we'll start with Cypress Trails, and our chorus at Cypress Trails Elementary performed at the annual Christmas with the Chimps at Lion Country Safari. You know, I'm sure you're aware, but they have a tremendous partnership with Lion Country Safari. I'm very proud of that partnership, and they continue to foster that. And so we love the opportunity for our kids to engage in activities and events such as this. So we want to thank them for that partnership. And our PTO at Cypress Trails enjoyed basically another awesome family night, right, in January. And we want to say a special thank you to Royal Palm Ice Cream for their partnership in this new partnership. So H.L. Johnson, you heard a lot from today, but you heard some pretty neat things that are happening at H.L. Johnson, and we're proud certainly of the work that has been going on there. So we're going to move on to the other schools since you got an in-depth review today about H.L. Johnson. And we'll talk about Royal Palm Beach Elementary. So not even the government shutdown could stop them from sending safety patrols to Washington, D.C. and brave the weather, as well as 5 chaperones that went along with them, right? So they were there, they enjoyed it, had a wonderful trip, so we're certainly happy for that experience. And they celebrated the 100th day of school, and so with children dressing up as if they were 100 years old.
There's that great thing again we were talking about, Dr. Rodriguez.
That's it, the great thing keeps coming back. It's the theme right now. Yeah. So our first responder appreciation breakfast at Royal Palm Beach Elementary. So we certainly thank them for all of their help, support, and teamwork with schools. Over at Crestwood Middle School, they celebrated some of the work that the language arts teachers were doing and recognized them in terms of helping to build content literacy across the school and making those connections. So we appreciate that effort, and we certainly appreciate those teachers for doing that. Ms. Tracy O'Connor, recognized by Channel 12 as the recipient of Tools for Teachers Award, which recognizes for their dedication and commitment to our public education. And then Literacy Week, of course, classrooms, engaged in Literacy Week and helping build that love of reading with our students and obviously with our staff, leading the way. And so we're certainly very proud of that, and we want to recognize 2 key components of our schools, right? And here, two people that are key components of our schools, and those are their guidance counselors, our counselors. So Rosalind Moore and Lisa Hutchins were recognized and celebrated over at Crestwood Middle. So great job with that. And then we have our Royal Palm Beach High School. Our senior IB internal assessments have begun. I'm sure the kids are happy. We're also, proud that our Future Health Professionals organization, HOSA, district champions are going to be competing in a state competition. So we're certainly celebrating them for their work and their achievement. And then Royal Palm Beach High School is hosting basketball districts this Wednesday, February 13th and February 15th. And then our students our musicians, right, earning superior and solo during their district competition are progressing to state competition next. And so we have their names here. We're proud of their work. And certainly our senior dance team was invited to make a Disney profile to become Disney's professional dancers. So that's really, really awesome news. And then I want to take a moment. That's what's been happening. Some of the exciting news from some of our schools. But I want to share with you. Our schools recently received their winter diagnostic data, and so that's important to us. That's an assessment that we give in the district just to sort of measure progress, so that we can take appropriate actions to support students and their needs. And so they're busy. All of our village schools are busy analyzing their data, identifying what areas they know they either need to reteach or they need to provide additional support for students. And that's part of our process of improving student achievement that we go through every year. It's really a critical component for us. And so they're deeply engaged in that work right now and creating the action plans that they need to support our kids. So I want to thank you for the time this evening to share with you what we're currently knee-deep in and what's been going on.
So I've been waiting to ask you this. Governor DeSantis and this Common Core issue. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? What are we thinking? There's a lot of time, energy, and effort that got put in this, and now it's tell me your thoughts.
Well, the reality is that we're in the same place you are, right? Because we operate based on technical assistance papers that the Florida Department of Education provides to schools whenever there is a shift. So the announcement, right, basically lets us know that that's something they're thinking or talking about, but that's not something that happens overnight and that takes place tomorrow, right? So for the moment, And pretty sure, even in the next year, right, we're moving along with what we've been doing. And as they make the decisions that they will make in Tallahassee with respect to that, then there'll be a technical assistance paper that comes out to schools looking into 2020 for additional information so that school districts and school systems can make adjustments that they may need to make depending upon whatever shifts occur. So it's really early in the game, and I think it's just we're zeroed in and we are focused on our current mission and our current work, and we're going to stay that way until we get some additional
New directives,
information. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there's zero time left anyway in people's days. And to switch all this, right, wrong, or indifferent about it, it's just,
Yep.
that's just, I know it's another piece that you're doing. Thank you for sharing that, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Anything else, Dr. Rodriguez? Okay. So, today's initiative for me, my request really is to get into, for the liaison, I want to share the initiative about awesome faculty and staff. Having been a college president, having been a faculty member for 20 years, I will tell you, what drives student success. You know what drives your job, making it easier. You know what drives the greatness that our kids experience every day at your faculty and staff. And one of the things about great faculty and staff, they never want to be recognized. They hate it. My mother had two sayings: this too shall pass, and get over it, because that's what you're going to have to do today. Because we are going to celebrate the greatness that you bring. Not with money or any other great things, but just an acknowledgement from us at the Educational Advisory Board how much and how important you bring and what you are, and it's just an amazing thing what you do. So those stories, we're really looking for the principals to share and just, get me sobbing, because I want to know how great these people are. So let me get through the kind of liaison reports real quick, and we'll get to that. I just wanted to give the principals a little bit of time to think about how they're going to make me sob. So this is important. So you're good today, right? Reports? Yep. Tell me, Julie, what you got?
I just wanted to talk about Miss Mikowski. I'm liaison for H.L. Johnson, and we work regularly together. She's fantastic. The first time when I would see her was when my daughter was in kindergarten. She'd stand out front. I didn't even know she was the principal. I thought she was just a teacher, because almost every single day she was standing out there opening car doors, welcoming kids to school. Those things matter to the kids. The kids know her and love her. The staff, they all love her. She's the kind of leader that you want to follow even if you don't get paid. The staff are happy. They're proud to work with her and proud to be at H.L. Johnson. I do wonder what our board can do to help the schools. Like, you guys all come here every month. You tell us all the amazing things that you're all doing. All of our schools are great in Royal Palm. I wish our village could maybe do something for them, for all of what they do for the village. There's so many things that now, as PTO president, I see that the schools need, and it's just not in the budget. I mean, like she said, we're paying for crisis bags, for tourniquets, and there's, playgrounds that need to happen, and courtyards that need to be renovated, and so many things that need to be done. So I don't know what our village can do. Maybe the councilman can talk to our village council about that.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I mean, something, little something. The other thing I think that our board could give is that maybe somehow Parks and Recreation could coordinate with our schools. For example, we need to have a dance for our 5th graders, and we like to do it at the Cultural Center, and it's really, really expensive and not in our budget. But I'm just thinking, maybe something could be worked out where all of our schools, like once a year, could use our village facilities at either a reduced rate or for free, so that we can do special things for the kids as they, move on to the next
There's
school.
a lot of free nods out there. I saw that. There's free nods out there. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if we can advise our village council to help our schools a little bit. That's it.
You just put the entire council on edge. You know, I said, I'm done.
Are the rest of the reports going to be like this?
Yeah, I hope not, Joe. So, Vice Chair Clark, do you have anything you want to share about some of your schools?
Only thing I have to share, I have been, we've been out of town. We have a sickness in the family, but we've had miracles happen. But because of that was it the last meeting when it was announced that Dr. Armis was the principal of the year for the night school? Well, I ran over there and signed up for a class. Yes, I did.
Oh, no.
So I'm enjoying myself at Royal Palm Beach High School every Wednesday evening, honing my skills at cake decorating.
So Dr. Armis gets to taste one of your first graduation creations, correct?
Gluten-free, of course.
Gluten-free, thank you very much. That's important.
Yes, I do gluten-free.
Good for you, Vice Chair Clark. That's fabulous. That's walking the walk. I like it. Mr. Brown, anything for you?
Well, I had a chance to attend the holiday concert at Cypress Trails. They had a really nice turnout of parents, and there was a really nice cookie and hot chocolate reception in the courtyard, which was really nice. The children seemed very happy in that school, and they presented a number of songs that are traditional for the season. But I was most impressed by the kindergarten improvisation of what adults look like when they're shopping at the last minute, which was really cute. And so that was a nice experience.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to challenge the board over the next couple months to let's get to as many schools and as many, even though you're liaisons, let's get to other schools. Let's get to as many just events I forgot you. Excuse me. I know, this is so wrong. She scared me with the whole last thing. I'm trying to keep you two apart. I forgot. I apologize. I need to get my, Pam, could you please share yours? I was going ahead.
Hi, Pam Chetka, alternate. I'm going to follow kind of in the same lines that Julie did, so you guys are going to get kind of hit hard. And actually, Jeff's in a perfect spot because all those beautiful trophies block him on this one. But I too would like to kind of call on us as a board, and with Miss Andrews here and our superintendent, would like to kind of take it to the next level. And we meet every month and we sit and do our agendas and go through things. But I too have talked to a lot of teachers since I've come onto this board. I moved here in 2015 and quickly joined H.L. Johnson PTO and met a ton of new people, a ton of great people. Our staff, our new principal, H.L. Johnson, Miss Cindy, I can't talk enough about our school. But I have also, in my new business, have met tons and tons of teachers. And our teachers have a hard job, guys, let's face it. Every single day, try to get up and they try to put on a happy face and they love what they do. But it seems like every time they turn around, they're having to buy supplies, they're having to try to bring their own money and make up where things fall short. But they do it because they enjoy it and they know the kids need it. One of the biggest things I think that I have come to the conclusion that we do not need to allow to continue to happen is that our teachers in our schools, in my opinion, should not have to pay for aftercare. If they are there from 2 o'clock in the afternoon, allowed to leave at 3 o'clock, and they have children that come to the same schools, they should not have to pay for 2 hours of aftercare when their kids come to the same school. Their kids can go to the cafeteria and start their homework, or go to the media center and start their homework. They should not have to pay to have their children stay until they are able to leave. I think that is a service that we should provide to our teachers without having to have them worry about one more thing that they have to pay for in budget, into their family's budget when they're there on campus anyway. And I don't know if anybody else has come across this, but I have spoken to teachers across Palm Beach County. I have spoken to teachers in other counties. I have spoken to teachers in our schools right here in Royal Palm. And the amount of money that they have to pay on a monthly basis for 1 to 2 children, part-time to full-time, is absolutely disgusting. And that's the word I'm going to use because I am so upset by this. I've taken a child from our school alone, and I take her home a couple of days a week just so this mother doesn't have to pay. She's a teacher at our school. Because budget-wise, I don't think she should have to. I'd take them all if I could, but I can't because I don't have the patience. But if maybe we can spearhead something or just do something in our village alone to try to start the process to help these teachers, I think that would be tremendous. Thank you.
No, I thank you for your advocacy. Appreciate that. Very nice. Both of them, Ms. Mikowski, really? I don't believe for a minute. Well done, well done. So again, board, I'd like to encourage us to get to as many schools and things as possible so we understand and can advocate for our school systems. And now it is time for the happiest person in the whole world with the most trophies in the whole world sitting right up here to tell us how to make us happy today. Please, Chrissy, help.
Good evening and Happy New Year. I am super glad to be back. As stated in our previous meeting, this year's state project is hurricane preparedness. We learned that last year several nursing homes were affected by the hurricane because of the lack of supplies. We collected supply donations for Abbey Del Rey Nursing Home for next year's hurricane season. I was able to personally deliver them, and this was very exciting to meet and greet with the administration and residents at the nursing home. Student Council teamed up with DECA in making door shutters for every single door in the school, so during school lockdowns, all teachers and staff are prepared. We kicked off our January with a highly anticipated week of women empowerment and Latino appreciation. Our student council members headed out to help H.L. Johnson Science Fair on January 29th and Literacy Night on January 30th. Last week, a few of our members, including myself, were able to come out and set up for the Valentine's Day dance on February 7th. Our annual ropes course trips was a success on the 31st of January. And on the 26th, Student Council attended District 5 rally, and we are proud to say we have placed first place in the health and safety category, and second place in citizenship development, and first place in school spirit. We are now revising our category books.
That wasn't a surprise, by the way. Just letting you know. Nobody here really went, really?
We are now revising our category books and preparing for FASC, Florida Association of Student Councils conference that will be held the first weekend of March. I would like to announce that we are running for FASC Vice President. We also attended Relay for Life meeting at Royal Palm Beach Elementary School in January and have been fundraising for this big event. We have raised over $300 for our Relay for Life team and will continue to raise money through February 20th. Carmen Campbell met with our President's Circle last week to get all clubs and organizations on campus prepared for our next Relay for Life meeting, which will be hosted at our school on February 20th. You're welcome to come out. And we are preparing for February 15th, this Friday, Paint Our PB Purple, which is when clubs and organizations on campus are selling food, drinks, snacks, and running different games during lunch while bringing awareness to a very important cause. And Moment of Hope will be taking place on the same day. During second hour, teachers and students take a moment to donate any loose change or any amount that they wish to donate. Place it in a jar, we collect it and count it up, and that is our school-wide donation to Relay for Life. And this month,
we are participating in the 17 acts of kindness. As stated, there were 17 lives lost in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting on February 14th, 2018. And this year, 17 clubs or organizations on our campus have registered for a day beginning on the 29th of January to create an act of kindness for each of the 17 days leading up to February 14th. Each day is dedicated to an act of kindness with an activity or a lesson or even a small lunch activity. Our annual Student Council Valentine's Day Social will be held tomorrow, and our special guest night, where our members of Student Council are able to select 2 special guests to present awards and honor them, will be held on February 19th. And we are also surprising, well, most of our guidance counselors are here, so it's not a surprise, with these lovely robot Valentine's Day treats. And
Takes your breath away.
oh, thank you. And I yield the floor.
Did you eat one of those before you came in here?
Just a little bit.
Okay, I'm just explains a lot, Chrissy. Just so I'm saying, explains a lot.
And I yield the floor. I have a question. Yes. How did your Christmas tree set? It went extremely well. Thank you very much for asking.
Short, sweet, to the point. That's why we like her. Nothing more. It went great. Done. I like it. Well, thank you, Ms. Christie. As always, it's a pleasure to listen to all the great things going on in your world and everybody else's world. You are the sunshine of the world, no doubt. Principals, let us begin to share a little bit about your school and the great super people. Steve, why don't you begin first? I think that's I got to kind of meet yours up front. Because you weren't expecting to be first. That's why I put you first. Please bring your super faculty staff member with you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve Epstein. I'm the principal at Palms West Charter. Just for the record, Pam, my teachers don't pay for their aftercare, just for the record. So I just want to, just for the record. So at our school, and I mean, every school in Royal Palm, and I've talked to the councilman, and I've talked to a lot of people out there. I'm a product of Palm Beach County, so easy now. So between the Wellington schools, and then actually went to Crestwood Middle. So don't hold anything against me because it says charter. So I just understand when the students walk in the building, the students are our students. Period.
And that's how we feel too, Steve. I want you to understand that.
So
that's exactly how we feel.
I do appreciate it.
Yep.
So I just wanted to kind of say that because I know the district schools, we get to share a little bit. I just wanted to share a little bit about everything that we're doing as well. And so we are a leadership school. We really focus on that character piece and focus on leadership throughout our school from kindergarten all the way up. And the reason that I have Miss Karen connect with us, she's a model of leadership on our campus. She's been doing this for just a couple of years. I won't go into, we talked about it before the meeting. 4 years with us and a lot, not as long, but for a very long time in the district and so forth. So she's been at this game for a long time, and she still has the passion, the desire, the drive to get our students where they need to be, not only as citizens in the community, right, but also as, our goal, right, academically as well. And she has really taken over our accelerated programs. We have Algebra 1 and Geometry on our campus, along with Biology, which are all high school credit courses on our campus. And Miss Connect, actually, she educates our Algebra 1 classes and our Geometry classes. And she's just a phenomenal representation of the staff that we have on our campus based on the passion that she has for the kids. And because it really, I can't do what I do without having the staff around me. And she just makes my job easier in my day. So this is Miss Connect. So if she has anything that she'd like to say,
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here tonight. The main thing that I want to speak about as far as our program is we can measure our success by what our state scores come in at, and they're often quite good. I think 2 years ago we were the second highest accelerated middle school program in the district of all the district schools and the charter schools, which was great accomplishment for us. But to me, my measure of success is when my students return, which they did this past Friday when they had their PDD day. I have students who are attending Royal Palm, Palm Beach Central, Seminole Ridge, Wellington, Suncoast. They come back and just brag about how well they're doing in high school. As freshmen, sophomores, I had some juniors return. That's the true success. When our students come back, when their parents come back and say, my child was so well prepared, and in fact, right now they're bored in math because they're so far ahead of their classmates. That's what I consider success. So thank you again, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Steve, it's good to see you're hiring over your head. This is good. I know this model. It's very smart. Thank you very much, very much. Tracy, how about you? What do you got? And if we would, can we get a picture of everybody, like with their principal and then with as a group? Would that be okay for them? That'd be important to me. Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm thrilled to be here tonight with a brand new, like fresh out of college, never taught before, brand new teacher, Amanda Bass. So Amanda, long story short, Amanda is a product of Palm Beach County Schools. She graduated from Palm Beach Gardens High School, and she is very young. And I never have vacancies, like never, nobody ever leaves the happiest place on earth unless they're moving very far away or getting ready to retire, okay? So we found ourselves in a little bit of a weird situation last summer, right before the job fair. I thought, gosh, our numbers are looking high. I think I might have a vacancy. And Amanda is one of those people that's very persistent. So she had emailed me like several times throughout the spring, and I gave my typical, thanks for your interest in our school. I'll keep your resume on file. I don't have anything.
She's stalking you at this point, basically.
Absolutely,
yeah. Okay.
absolutely. She's following me
Smart,
on
Amanda.
on
Good
Twitter.
job.
She's
Yeah.
liking our Facebook page. Like she's sold. She's sold on Royal Palm Beach.
Showing up
Elementary.
where you eat dinner. Yeah, I get all this. Yeah, this is good. She wants a job. I get it.
So we go to the job fair, like number one person at Royal Palm Beach table, Amanda Bass. And we're like, wow, she's persistent. So we started talking, my AP and I, with Amanda, and immediately fell in love with her. You can tell her passion for students and learning. She's an incredible person. I'm not going to cry, but I will tell you, at the beginning of the year, 11th day count, we were right on the border of losing a teacher. If we lost a teaching position, it would have been Amanda. So we started kind of preparing for that. And we're like, Amanda, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And we had some, plans in place. We started to actually communicate. I don't think I even told Vivian this because it probably wasn't the best idea in the world, but I started to kind of prepare the staff and the parents. There might be a little bit of a change. And I went out to dismissal in the afternoon, and like at least half a dozen of Amanda's parents came up to me and said, gosh, I'm so upset. I had to put my sunglasses on because I knew I was going to cry. I'm like, so am I, I'm trying, and I'm always laughing and smiling. I love elementary school. So we found out we were able to keep Amanda, and parents were thrilled, kids were thrilled. I have never, ever seen a brand new teacher with the natural ability to teach and reach each one of her students and each one of her families, the connections that she's made and the difference that she has made, not only with her students and families, but with our entire school. She brings a good, fun energy and positive spark to our school. And I respect and appreciate everything that I've learned from Amanda, although she'll tell you she's learned a lot from our staff. We have all learned a lot from her, and we're thrilled. She's a Bobcat. Woohoo, Amanda.
My goodness. Okay, so this was a surprise. I didn't know why I was here.
I didn't tell.
No, she didn't tell me. It was a secret.
You're going to scar this poor teacher. Are you kidding me? Tell her.
Oh, I'm very moved right now. Just last week even, I emailed the whole staff and I said, listen, I am so thankful to be here. Like, This is my home. This is my happiest place on earth. I know why it's yours. And I was like, I woke up today and I'm so happy that I'm happy to go to work every day. And I'm happy to be here with you guys because I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else. And when I thought I was going to have to leave, like we were all in her office crying because it's like it really feels like home and they all accepted me in. And I'm so thankful and blessed. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. Sometimes, as we all know, new teachers don't. That's not the norm for who we get. So, very excited, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, let's see who else is coming up. Let's see. Crestwood. Let's get Crestwood up here. Of course. Yes, I've heard good things about yours already. She really doesn't want to stand up there, so I'm really happy you're making her stand up there. This is good for me.
All right. Good evening. Thank you so much. We are just so excited at Crestwood Middle School. You know, one of our pillars at Crestwood is centered around attitude, dedication, respect, and character. And so it truly was a no-brainer for me to select this colleague, and I do consider her a colleague because her undying commitment to the students and to the staff and to the community at Crestwood Middle School is truly to be commended. Mrs. Blanche Martin and I have worked together. I'm not going to date either one of us. We have worked together for several years at Crestwood Middle School, and Mrs. Martin has taught every type of student that we as educators can think of. During her time at Crestwood Middle School, she currently leads a cadre of the Gifted Academy teachers. Mrs. Blanche Martin teaches our high school mathematics courses in the areas of algebra honors and geometry honors, both of which she has 100% passing rates every year. So we are just so excited and blessed to have Mrs. Blanche Martin as part of the Crestwood family. For many years, she has been nominated by her colleagues for the William T. Dwyer Award. So she is just an outstanding educator. We are so lucky to have her. So I introduce Mrs. Blanche Martin.
Good evening, everyone. I did not know I was going to speak either.
These principals are good, man.
Yeah, and I also didn't tell anyone I was coming here. So, you know, no one from my school knows that I'm here. I'm happy to be here. A lot of insights I've gotten just from being here this evening. I've been at Crestwood for 13 years. I actually started off at Cross Point Elementary, which is in Boynton Beach. I opened up that school years ago with a group of great teachers. And eventually, when my daughter was getting ready for elementary school, I kind of had to come closer home. I lived in Loxahatchee for a while, and I finally decided, okay, you know what? I need to find a school within my area so I can get to work 10 minutes and back home, because I like to be able to, you know, sometimes roll out of bed last minute and get to work. But, you know, I do spend a lot of time at Crestwood. I'll probably be going there after I leave here tonight, because I had to run home to walk the dog before I came back here. So like one of the other ladies said earlier, I truly enjoy what I do, and I get more glorified praise or intrinsic feelings when I visit. I was at Royal Palm Beach twice last week. I was out there for mental health training, and I also went out there. I took my 15 students from Crestwood for the math tournament. So I got to see all my math students at Royal Palm Beach that are now actually running the program, the math program over there. So I have a lot of things I can spend probably all night telling you guys, and I really don't like to be put on the spot. So I'm here. I really enjoy what I do. I spend a lot of time with my students that have gone on to high school, tutoring them online. 2 o'clock in the morning, we're on Instagram. Ms. Martin, I need help with this question because my teacher doesn't know what she's doing, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I really enjoy what I do. I don't see me leaving the teaching profession anytime soon. I've tried to step up and look at being an AP, and I did it for a few days, and I was like, that's not my calling. So I came back into the classroom. I'm like, please don't ask me to do this anymore. I just want to stay with my students. I enjoy what I do. I try to bring up, like Dr. Nan says, I've worked with, you know, the lower students at our school. I've worked with intensive math. I've done regular math. And I just find a love for what I do. I really enjoy it. And I hope that as time passes and My students come back because they do. Fridays is usually open house at my classroom. They know where I'm at, and they all come and, oh, Miss Martin, everything you said about high school is true, because they don't believe you when you're in middle school. If you guys don't know that, they don't, everything we say, they don't believe us. And then they come back and say, oh, Miss Martin, you said it, you meant it, and it's true. Everything you said that was going to happen happens at high school. So, I like when they come back. We do have that one-on-one personality, personal relationship. And we do spend a lot of time together. I provide tutoring, free tutoring off hours for my high school students when they come back, and that's just something I enjoy doing. And like some of the teachers have said about, I remember when I was in the same situation you were with having my daughter in elementary school and having to pay for aftercare. I do understand. So like I said, tonight I'm getting a lot of information from people that have spoken, and I'm just taking it all in. This has been fun tonight. I really didn't want to come because I didn't want to be put on the spot, but I'm glad that I'm here, so thank you.
Ms. Marr, we hope you never retire, because it's you have so much to give. Jeff, you're in big trouble. That's all I'm saying. How about Cypress Trails? Yeah, Stacy, how are you, bud? Good to see you. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bruce Salter, the new principal at Cypress Trails, and it is.
You're no longer new. Your family now.
I'm going to use that as long as I'm allowed to. So.
Okay, bud.
But it is my pleasure to introduce Teresa Ventriglio. She is our SAI teacher. She works with students primarily in third grade as an intervention teacher. And I first had the opportunity to meet Teresa. She was actually on the interview panel when I was going through the process to become the new principal. So I immediately saw her as someone who was respected and admired by her staff to be selected to represent the teachers in that very important process of selecting the new principal. But one of the first moments that I realized how amazing she was that, she was nominated to be Teacher of the Year. She was a Final 3. And it was shortly after she sent an email to me saying that she respectfully wanted to take her name out of it. She wanted to give someone else the opportunity that she had been given, I assume, multiple times before, just by how amazing she is. So I haven't had the opportunity to publicly thank her very much as a new principal. I value very much her support, her wisdom, and she doesn't just say yes because I'm the principal. She pushes back on me many times in a very supportive way to make me think about different perspectives and to give me that very keen insight before I make decisions.
Is it like that? I hired you, I can fire you kind of thing?
It's just it's very much something that I appreciate.
Yeah, the colleague, right? Collegial, right? Yeah.
So not only does she support teachers, not only is she our chair of our school advisory council, not only did she lead our Celebrate Literacy Week by planning a really nice parent literacy night that had 10 sessions for parents to choose from, and they all got to choose 3 sessions to go to. Not only does she do all those amazing things, but most importantly, she's extremely modest. She's extremely respected by her colleagues. And if she would have said no to me tonight, I would have been via satellite at her front door tonight. But I'm very happy to introduce Teresa Ventriglio.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. I didn't know I needed to speak either, so thank you for this. Thank you so much. I had served on the Village of Wellington for many years on their advisory board, so I just want to give a special thank you to all of you for being an advocate for our students in Royal Palm Beach and bringing everyone here together this evening. It's such a great thing. I've been teaching for over 30 years, 20 years at Cypress Trails. I started teaching, it was called dropout prevention many years ago. And when the district initiated the SAI program, that's when I came on board. So what I've learned and continue to know that over the many, many years, it really does, and I know this is so corny, but it does take a village to make sure that our students not only are academically successful, socially, emotionally, it does take everyone takes parents, it takes our community members, it takes teachers, it takes great leaders. Thank you, Mr. Salter. And yes, you had said that our students are happy, but yes, our staff is very happy. So I feel myself very blessed, and I love what I do, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Bruce, for bringing such a talent here. I appreciate you coming. I know how busy you are, but thank you very much. It's real important. It's nice to have. Western Academy, anything here? No? Doesn't seem okay. HL, are we going to, I know, you got them up here in the crowd. I mean, you've planted them everywhere. You've done this well. No, we want to hear about your great staff, please.
I don't know if you want to hear me anymore.
Oh, of course.
I would like to introduce to you Stacy Connor. She is my SAI, my reading intervention teacher. I first met Stacy the summer when I first accepted the position at H.L. Johnson, and I had asked all of the staff members to come in so that I could meet with them. And I remember she was one of the first ones that I had an opportunity to meet with. And she was so happy and so positive, and everything was like all of these great things that are going on at school, and nothing she wanted to tell me was negative. And she's been like that every day since I have been at the school, where everything is positive. She always has a smile on her face. She motivates all of us around her. She motivates the teachers, the students. You can tell the kids when they leave her room that the love for reading that they have. She moves kids. Some of our lowest readers come out and they're so excited because they get to go to Miss Connor's room, with their little bag of books, and they're just so excited. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with her. She does do anything I ask, though, which is nice too, because I put her over like Literacy Week and all kinds of stuff. Now she's
other duties as assigned,
America.
right? Yeah. Principal's favorite, yeah.
So but it has been a real pleasure to work with her. So I'd like to introduce Stacy. She really doesn't want to say much, so she's going to be real quick.
Listen, Stacy, only just share just a little bit about your passion. Why it's a passion for you.
Well, it's pretty easy because I love where I work. I grew up in the area. I went to schools here, Crestwood, Royal Palm. I was at Loxhatchee Grove. Sorry, guys, not in the village. But it's where I'm from. So I did my interning many, many moons ago at Royal Palm Elementary. I thought I wanted to work there. Cover your ears. And
that's not happening.
Like she said, they didn't hire. They weren't hiring. And I got HL, and that's my home. I'm staying there. I will retire from there. Not going anywhere else. It's the happiest place on earth. So I'll put that.
Well, Stacy, we're happy to have you. Thank you very much. What's that? So I'm a runner, and I run by every morning, and you are there, yes, doing it, yeah. You are there, there's no doubt. Waving to strangers, it's all good. There goes that guy again. Dr. Armis, would you please, let's bring your wonderful group of guidance counselors up.
There we go. When Ms. Mikowski was an assistant principal at Royal Palm Beach High School, she always used to let me know that somehow or another I could take any situation and make it all about me. And so I'm about to do that right now by saying that when people are going through master's programs or those kind of things and they interview principals and they say, what is the most important thing you do? I tell them that the most important thing that a principal does is hire. It's what we do, because if you hire right, the job takes care of itself, right? And so we're very fortunate at Royal Palm Beach High School to have a lot of good people, and we have 213 or so staff members, and we have 140 faculty members, and so we have a lot of good people. And when Dr. Talamer first talked about this. Everything's about timing, and it was right around when graduation rates had come out. And we got a lot of play in the newspaper and everything else about our great graduation rate, as we should, because it's fabulous work done by an entire community that, by the way, begins at kindergarten and works through our feeder program, because our elementary schools and our middle schools all are important in this. It's not just a high school, right? So it's a whole team effort in our feeder pattern as to how we get to that kind of graduation rate. But when you really get right down to it, at the very core of it, though, your guidance counselors are the ones who are really doing the heavy lifting when it comes to graduation rate, because getting to 93% requires a lot of chasing down of a lot of students who need your help. And we meet with our guidance counselors once a month at-risk meetings to go through every one of our students. We have a graduation status report, we bring it up, students who aren't on track to graduate, and we literally go through every student. And when we get to a kid, we go to that counselor, and I'll say, okay, what's that student's story? And and that counselor knows everything there is to know about the kid. Well, I just got off the phone with grandma, and grandma says that we can't get the kid here because she's whatever, and that kind of stuff. And when asked, how do you get the 93% graduation rate? Because it's personal. It's personal for our counselors, and it's personalized for each single individual student on our campus. And that's how you do that. And that's not easy, considering that we have 7 counselors for 2,300 students, right? And so that's a heavy load of students. And now every single initiative that's coming out about safety, what's it talk about? Counseling. So our counselors now are not only responsible for the credit checks and for making sure that the kids got the right schedule, and for graduation, and for grief whenever we lose a student, and for all the things. Now they're also in charge. They also have to help with safety. So the burden that our counselors have with the load that they have is really it's frankly daunting. But they come here every day to work. They get the job done. Tracy, I'm not going to cry, but they do. But they are just fabulous, and we have been fortunate at Royal Palm Beach High School that of the 7, 6 of them have now been at the school for 5 consecutive years. And that's that consistency. Now they know the kids coming through, they know the siblings and the parents, and so that consistency is so important. So what we'll have them do is we'll have them come up, and they really don't like to do this. Now, if you think teachers don't want to get up in front and talk, counselors don't want to do even less of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with Mrs. Lanier, and we're just going to have them come up and tell us kind of just the alphabet that they have, and they can tell us about any vitals, their weight, their age, anything else that they want to say. But let me just say this about Mrs. Lanier. Mrs. Lanier, when I got to Lake Worth Middle School as my first principalship, she was a counselor. And I was there 4 years, and the one thing I knew was when I went to Royal Palm Beach High School, I was bringing her with me. And so she has had the great fortune of working with me longer than any other employee in the school district of Palm Beach County. How great is that, Mrs. Lanier? And, so exciting. And she is our coordinator for all of our counseling services. So just briefly, vitals.
Well, we'll find some different vitals, but I love working at Royal Palm Beach High School. I have 4 kids who are product of our feeder schools. 4 went to H.L. Johnson and Crestwood. I've got 2 children that have graduated, and I have 2 current students at Royal Palm. Love our students. See a couple here who's trying to hide over there. And just getting to work with the kids that we have here in the village, and they're fantastic. This group of counselors, as crazy as they are great to work with every single day. And Dr. Armis and our administrators, of course, are fantastic most of the time.
She has been with you a long time.
Yeah, yes, way too long.
Long time.
Yes, way too long.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Laurie Kachelle. This is my 7th year as a counselor at Royal Palm Beach High School. I have all students with the last name S through Z, and I just love coming to work every day. Every day is a new adventure. You never know what you're going to get, so it keeps things exciting, and that's why I love being a counselor.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Rosado. I have the students from with the letters DI through JE. So Christy is one of my students. Yay me. I get to have her, which is wonderful. I have been a counselor for 17 years, and these last 5 have been at Royal Palm Beach. And I was in elementary, and every 4 years I was switching schools because I was looking for something. And I have not looked to go anywhere because I love working at Royal Palm. I have an incredibly supportive administrative team, and working with other counselors that are as professional and as knowledgeable as can be has really made such a difference for me. So I'm very happy where I'm at, and thank you.
Hello. I'm Natalie Pluta. I've been with the district 15 years. And I've been at Royal Palm for the past 5. I've been very lucky to be a counselor at elementary, middle, and now high school, and I love it. We have such a great team. I think we all bring something unique to the table. It's a blessing to like where you work. And by the way, I have A through DH of my students.
And who was your favorite teacher in high school in any subject?
My favorite teacher was Dr. Armis.
Thank you very much.
He taught me driver's ed. So when you saw me parking outside, I kind of, I got a B.
And who's your favorite student in elementary school that you ever had?
Oh, Daniel Armis.
Thank you very much.
Did I pass?
And she was at Pierce Hammock, and she was right.
Thank you.
That's so shameless.
Such a shameless, push. I like it.
Right out there in the open.
Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly Delgado. I am the ESOL counselor, brand new to the school and to this field. The group is very, very helpful to me, and the leadership is very supportive. I am learning, so I'm in the process. Okay, thank you.
We had Ms. Delgado is new. She's our latest hire, and our former ESOL counselor who had been with us for 4 years went on to the district level. We're very fortunate to have Beverly with us. She's done a great job. We have 2 other counselors who had personal reasons why they couldn't be here tonight, and that's Mr. Gary Harmon and Miss Kate Murphy, and they all do a great job for us, and I'm very grateful to them, all kidding aside, because they're really good.
Yes, sir. It's a great group. How about a hand one more time for the counselors? It's very, very tough job.
Can I address a couple of things that were said a little earlier?
Absolutely,
quickly?
please.
All right. First of all, when we're talking about the counseling, we have seen the budget coming out, and we are very grateful for that millage and the referendum because our school budgets come out on February 20th. But getting a sneak preview, I'm telling you, there's some really good things coming through for safety reasons that are all, it's all referendum money, and a lot of it has to do with the counseling too. And so I look forward to next September when I get to present to you, because we're going to be able to roll out a whole brand new counseling department that will have a wraparound service like really we have never seen in this district for sure, and I guarantee you rarely has anybody ever had this, so we're really excited about that, and we're grateful. Just a shout out at Miss Andrews very graciously talked about the single point of entry. Every time that she says that, I remind her that, once again, it goes back to the hiring and me taking credit. Really, it was Miss Jones whose idea it was when she was our head of safety as our number 2 assistant. She isn't here today because that's her birthday, and we gave her birthday off this evening. Yeah, we don't do that often, so Ms. Amato, as always, is here. Ms. Clark, you asked about athletics and about the differences. I think that in such a large district, with all the varying types of high schools and school communities, it's very difficult to have one single uniform piece of operating system that goes for every community and for every event, because you have to talk about, remember, our athletic events could range anything from a Friday night football game with several thousand people in it to a Friday night to a Saturday night basketball game where you have 1,000 people in a confined area, to a Tuesday night volleyball game when you might have 15 people there maybe, right? So it's very difficult. So what the district did was through the work at the Deputy Superintendent's office, they came out with a list of kind of protocol for all events, but always saying that principals do have, the ultimate word to kind of decide when we're wanting, when we're not, and those kind of things. And ultimately, it always comes back down to the principal having to decide for the community and for the school. So that's why you're seeing that. The district did come out with a good list of protocol that we're all using. And I know it can get confusing sometimes, but really, as a principal, I wouldn't want somebody telling me how best to run our game when based on what another community that maybe has completely different, the different factors in it. So that's why you might be seeing some change. But for the most part, we have that same protocol. And then the last thing I just want to talk about, Chris, you talked about that we will be running for vice president. The Student Council, the Florida Association of Student Council State conference is every year hosted by the treasurer, whoever the treasurer is for that year. They host, and then you get, 300, 400 schools, maybe more, right?
For states, it's huge.
Right.
Like 1,000.
Right. Tons of students and lots of schools. And so then you'll have a handful of schools that try to go for one of the offices. They go for an election. And in the last 7 years, we've been treasurer and have hosted that conference. And we've also been president. And this year we're going for vice president. And our student council, I tell people this, but our student council in the state student council world is very well respected for the work that they do. And you can see by the number of first and second places that we have here, and our kids really do a good job, and they'll be competitive in this election, and we'll have a shot at it. And if we are chosen to be, if we're elected to be vice president, then that means that we put on all the workshops. That's the vice president's job. So we'll put on that. So we'll see what happens. All right. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. I like it. For those of you that came in with your principals, remember a leader's job is to grow leaders, not to grow followers. And you are being grown for a reason. So most of this group won't be here forever. So it's your job to step up, assume, and, like you talked about, you did the AP row and went, okay, I could stand on a fishing rod for 3 hours and not do this. I get that. But you know what? Sometimes those roles are necessary, and good people like yourself are certainly needed. So that's our job. So I hope we all get to see you for a long time. The last piece is, do we have any statements from the public? Anybody out here like to share anything? Nope, going once, going twice, okay. And then we need a motion for minutes from the December months to amend approve as put out by Ms. Jacqueline. Can I have a
motion to approve minutes?
All right, we have a motion, and we have a second, okay. All right, those are approved. There's any old business we need to attend to at all? I think we covered most of that. New business we went over today. Dates for our group. Remember, everyone, the scholarships are coming up, really important. So we're going to get into the scholarship applications. Got to be hand delivered or postmarked to the Village Hall by this Friday, February 15th, by 5 p.m. 5 p.m. I'll be tracking down Miss Jacqueline in the parking lot, at 5:10, because you may get run over. I'm just letting you know. And then we'll meet the following Monday, okay, on the 4th, March 4th, to start to review and get the selection process moving. And then the finalists have to be around for the 25th. That's this Saturday. We're looking to help as many as we can with your group that are out that day, Dr. Armis, and that's at noon, and we'll schedule those accordingly to school needs. And then on our meeting on the 16th, Thursday, we'll get those awarded out at the Village Council meeting, okay? So again, just to be this Friday, 15th, application deadline, the 4th, and team, we'll need to meet right after this a minute just to go over, Ms. Jacqueline's going to show us what we're going to do, and then the interview is on the 27th, and then the 16th, Debbie shows it, okay? Welcome back, everyone. Again, certainly glad to have everybody. Certainly appreciate all the attendance. And again, we can't thank the faculty and staff that you brought enough for the gifts, for the intelligence, for the knowledge, for the support that you bring to principals and the students that you work with, okay? This meeting is adjourned. Have a good week, everyone.